Okay, everybody. I have a guest that's coming on the show today. He is actually coming from inside Iran right now with everything that's going on in the world right now. I thought it was really important to get somebody that is on the inside of the country after they had the internet blackouts and everything else that's there. So he agreed to come on, but he's not gonna open up his camera for obviously purposes because he doesn't want to conceal his identity. So that's fine. So without further ado, what's up, man? How you been doing?
Hi, thanks. Thank you for being the voice of us in Iran. I thank you really much. Sorry for my poor English. I'm not really proficient in speaking English, uh, but I followed your news about Iran and I'm really grateful for your work.
I appreciate it. I'm really thankful that you decided to come on the show, man. Really.
I'm really sorry. It's not really safe in here, and uh, the the close people to me are not really safe people. I don't know if you
Yeah.
understand what I mean, but the my friends, my acquaintances, they are not safe people either.
Really. You feel like you can't trust them, is what you're saying?
Uh, there's you can't trust anyone right now in Iran because everyone can be a mercenary for the government, uh, and they can sell you over to the government with a little screenshot or even just your voice. They sell you really cheap, and nowhere is safe, no one is safe.
Yeah.
And right now, the only safe person that people can trust is just King Reza Pahlavi. That's for obvious reasons. He's the only safe person that we Iranians know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That is the only name that I seem to hear that comes from the people.
Uh, his father was the previous king of Iran, and the Ayatollahs, the Khomeini, when they came, they, how should I say it? Uh, they really didn't like what the king did for Iran. He did really great things. He made universities in Iran. His father served people really well, and Ayatollahs really didn't like that and wanted a Islamic regime. They wanted this ideology to be spread to the world. I don't know why, but they uh, exiled the king, and now we only know his son, the only person that logically uh, hates.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he had two sons, didn't he?
Do you have my voice?
I think the internet is starting to break up.
Do you have my voice?
Yeah, you just came back. You went off for a few seconds there.
Yeah, sorry, and the situation of internet is like this,
Yeah, obviously.
unfortunately. Uh, where I was, what I was saying.
You were talking about how the Islamic regime exiled the king.
Yeah, and they exiled the king, and obviously his son is uh, the only person who is safe because he saw his father get exiled and uh, murdered by this regime. So that's logically the only safe option for us Iranians.
Yeah. And he had didn't he have multiple sons?
Uh, I don't think so. I only have heard his name, and I think it's pretty reasonable why ordinary people don't know about his son, because they never taught us about that in schools, and they never let us know what that actually was like. They didn't like Iranians to know what it was in Pahlavi's era.
Yeah, that's insane, man. You really got to think about that. That's exactly what they would do, huh? Growing up there in the schools, they would erase the entire history of the Shah and everything that happened before the pro-Islamic regime. Is that right?
Yeah, they really filter the history and censor it as they like, and they uh, just say the Islam is right and Muhammad is right. They teach us the history about 1,400 years ago about what Muhammad did, but never uh, truly taught us what it was like in our ancient history, what it was like in real Iranian history. They thought about us about hundreds of years ago in Arabistan, or what Arabs did, but not Iranians.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. So you guys never were taught about King Cyrus or any of that?
Not as profoundly as we were taught about Islam. Yes, they say its name, but they not really teach us what the Cyrus the Great did. They never taught us and never said out loud that Cyrus the Great freed Jews. They never thought anything. They just want their ideology to be spread and don't like any other information to be spread.
Yeah, that is insane, man. Because so it's like, because, for people that like live in the United States or outside of a tyrant regime like that, you're so used to having such a vast array of information from different sides that it's almost hard to put your mindset in a place where you have to really realize that it's so much deeper than them just promoting what they're doing now or the pro regime that's in charge now. Is that they go back, and from the time that you're born, your whole life going up through the schools and everything, they almost completely block out anything that's even happened in the past that's contradictory to what they're saying now. So as in, for the Persian Empire and Cyrus and all that, that's one of the greatest empires that's ever existed on the planet. So it's kind of crazy to think that they were not only just able to take over this whole country and people, but they actually tried to separate the people themselves from their entire history of everything they've ever been. That is crazy, man.
Yeah, I know. And that's happening.
Yeah, that is wild. So
Uh, Yet, sorry, in the middle of your talk, but the only thing that this regime thought us great, I can say that 100% every Iranian know greatly about that, is what Muhammad did, what Quran said, and that's why a lot of not all Iranians, but that's why a lot of Iranians don't like Islam anymore, because we experienced it. I myself read Quran translation of it in Persian, because obviously we are not Arabs and we don't understand Arabics really well. But as we read Quran and as we read history, we came to conclusion that this isn't right, and there's something wrong in here.
Yeah, that is a powerful conclusion to come to because that's exactly what it is. So that's what I've been hearing too from a lot of other people is that it feels like it's not just a revolution against the specific regime now, but against the idea of Islam reigning over an entire government as well.
Yes, uh, there's. I hear people say if you read Quran, you will like to be a Muslim, and you will like to be coming to Islam. But that's 100% wrong. I experienced it myself. I read Quran myself, and I was Muslim. We all Iranians we born Muslim, literally, because as we born, uh, they write us as Muslim in every documentation in this country. And I started reading, and my friends started reading, and whoever is now against Islam started reading Quran, and that's why we are against Islam.
Yeah. So against Islam because of Islam itself, because of what the Quran itself teaches,
Yes.
not because you've been propagandized or by Jewish Zionist propaganda, like a lot of people that are against the revolution in Iran keep trying to claim that it's not an organic revolution, that the people there don't really want to rebel against it. It's just the Jews and the Americans that are trying to push some sort of narrative to the people.
Our only propaganda was Muhammad itself, I can say.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was gonna say, so have you, like, how much of the country is in an upheaval right now?
Uh, uh, there are uh, a lot, I can say. And more than 80% of people are against this regime. Uh, I can. A lot of people say 90, more than 90%, but in my surroundings, in my friends and acquaintances, I'm in a really religious environment, and in this religious environment, there are more than 80% people against this current regime, and we don't want it. But there are still people that are with this regime. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
80%, but it's not 100%. There are 20% different, or in, or as the others said, there are like 10% different. There are 10% people that are with regime, and that is what is making it so hard, like myself, that I can't show my face. I
Yeah.
can't guarantee that 100% of people are like me.
Yeah, as that seems to be the typical in all tyrannical regimes ever. There's always that small group of people for whatever reason. Whether do you think that's because they believe the Quran and Islam, or are they have a better, more prestigious position within the government, or why would you say that is?
Uh, I think there are two reasons. Reason one, there are after power, and they don't think this regime is gone, at least for now, and they want prestige, obviously. The second reason is they don't read. They didn't read Quran. They don't know Islam, but they are Muslims. They know themselves as Muslims without reading Quran. They didn't even read one surah of Quran, and they call themselves Muslims. I think that's the other reason.
So they just accept what they've been taught about Islam right off the bat.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense, really. I know various people that do that in a lot of different places. Um, so like on a scale of 1 to 10, like I know that the protests are really big. I know there's a lot of people protesting, but I also know that there's probably people that are just going about their everyday lives, and even if they support the protest, just because they're trying to live life. Do you feel like has it been disruptive, or how disruptive has it been to normal everyday life for those who are just trying to go back and forth to work or whatever it is?
Uh, in work, there's no problem. I mean, there's no protests in daylight, and people are living their normal lives in daylight. But after like uh, 8 p.m., uh, people, a lot of people in some places start saying Javid Shah out of their homes, or uh, in their balconies, or some in the streets. But it doesn't interrupt the normal daily life. Uh, that's
So
like
it's
that.
it's more like a so it's more like it's a nightly thing.
They can't say what they want in daylight. That's because of that. If they say that in daylight, obviously a lot of people that we don't want to hear our voice will hear our voice, and we will be in danger.
Yeah, that's guaranteed death.
Yes.
Um, do you know anybody personally that's been taken out by the regime as a result of everything?
I know a lot of people getting murdered by this regime, and yes, I know a kid. I think he's 17 years. I don't think he's older, or maybe at most 20. He has lost his parents uh, when he was uh, I think he was 2. I don't really remember, but he was an orphan, and he's still a kid, and he is arrested, and we don't know anything about him. We don't know if he's alive, if he's dead. We don't know if he's safe. We don't know anything about that, and a lot of people I know personally has been murdered.
Yeah, that's horrific. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, is it okay? So we hear a lot of reports inside coming out from the country that, I mean, just like horrible things like them specifically targeting children on purpose, them cutting people's organs out and organ harvesting people, killing the wounded, going after doctors for trying to help the wounded. Is it really like that deep down inside of there?
Yeah, you should. That's all true. I have seen pictures of that, and they're all true, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, and I think it's important that people really understand how real that is, because a lot of people try to push back on that and claim that people are trying to act like the numbers aren't as big or as bad as they really are. It's like they don't want, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from the regime's propaganda itself and maybe other Muslim nations as well. But I see a lot of people in the West that even try to dismiss it and act like, well, it's probably nowhere near as bad as people act like it is.
There are always people who don't believe numbers. There are always people who don't believe numbers, and I don't know what to say to them. Maybe they don't want to accept their reality, and there are always people who have never ever read Quran, and labeled us as Islamophobic. They don't want to accept the reality as well. I don't have any word to say to those.
Yeah, those people are deranged and they're delusional. Islamophobic, that's another thing. That is like the stupidest word I've ever heard in my life, because it's a fact that Islam has a murderous history. I mean, that's just anybody that's living in reality. It's obvious, and it's not just one place. It's in various places all the time. And when one goes away, another one comes up and it constantly goes in and out. So I don't understand. I don't understand how people call that Islamophobic. But
I won't be surprised if that's another regime's propaganda. I think that's pretty possible because Iran is very prosperous. It has really riches. It has a lot of riches, and it can. Iran, I don't mean Iranian, I mean Islamic regime. This Islamic regime can make words uh, out of thin air and do something like this. I won't be surprised if it's something that the regime has created.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense, really. What do you? I've heard that the Ayatollah has ran underground in a bunker. Or do you know anything about that or no?
In 12-day war, he did the same, and it's his safe ground. It's uh, somewhere that he thinks he's safe, and that's pretty possible. We have seen it happen, and why not again?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, really. And so I wanted to say, and so the people inside the country, like I've heard that they're burning mosques to the ground. That's true.
There are two sides of that. One side is that the police, the Basij, these jihadis in Iran, they captured people and put them in the mosques. They uh, uh, prisoned them in the mosques, and that's why Iranians start uh, firing mosques. That's one reason. The second is that it's the work of regime. He wants to uh, let the religious people to be on regime's side. They don't want to lose religious people uh, and uh, how should I say it? He don't. The regime doesn't want religious people to be on the side of Iranians. Uh, he doesn't. The regime doesn't want to lose religious people. That's why the regime started firing mosques uh, himself itself.
That's really interesting. So you feel like they're trying to use that as some sort of to incentivize the people in the country that identifies Muslims not to join the revolution.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. Um, so so another thing that's confusing for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, is that like the people, the police themselves, or the people in the military, like a lot of them don't they understand how evil the regime is? Like, why do you think you would almost think you would wonder why they don't help the people and rebel against the Ayatollah themselves?
As I said, a lot of my acquaintances, a lot of my family members are not safe. That's because there are police, there are Basiji, there are jihadis, and I can say they are 100% brainwashed. There is no saving for them. There is no save. You can't save them. That that like imagine a person who is living 40 years or 30 years of his life with this idea that Islam is good, Ayatollah is the greatest person in the world, and now you are saying no, he's a terrorist, he's not a good person. Islam is not what it seems to be. What do you expect? Do you expect him to leave all of his beliefs? Obviously, no. He won't accept your words. He just accepts his 30 years of life under this brainwashed. Uh, I don't. I this brainwashed ideology. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, really. So, what you're saying is that the people that are a part of the IRGC and the people that are in the streets murdering protesters and everything, they've been completely. It's maybe not even that they're incentivized, but that they're the group of people that actually believe the Ayatollah. They firmly stand by that idea.
Exactly. They're lost. You can't save them.
That's really interesting. So, do you feel like is that because um are they groomed from the time that they're a little kid, or is it more like that anybody that's not like that was filtered out by the regime itself to make sure that the only people that would be involved with that were that dedicated to the cause?
Uh, I'm not really sure. That's this regime is pretty complicated. It doesn't show its works to publics. It do things in secret, and I'm not really sure what it does to people. But what I'm sure is a lot of these people were raised like this from their childhoods. From they started learning these things from their families, and a lot of these people just raised this way. And that's all I can say.
Okay. And like firearms, they're illegal for the people to have, isn't that true?
Even a knife is illegal to carry.
Yeah. So the protesters, that's why they're getting totally destroyed like that. They don't even have the ability to shoot back. Yeah.
There is no way for us to win this war. There is no way. We are barehanded.
Yeah. So, if you wanted to say something to anybody that's outside of the country that was listening to it, and you wanted to help them understand and explain exactly how dire the situation is and what you wanted to say to them, what would you say?
I would say uh, everything is obvious. Everyone can accept whatever it wants to accept. If you want to accept reality, you can accept reality. If you want to accept your delusions, just accept your delusions.
So you feel like everything's already been said that needs to be said. They just need to accept whether or not that's actually true or not.
Yes.
All right. I mean that makes a lot of sense, really. Um, and I've heard also that is it true? Like I've been hearing that they're purposefully like not giving the bodies of women and children back. Is that true?
And that's something even us in Iran are very worried about. And yes, I don't know how many videos of Iranians' bodies have you have seen, but in a lot of those videos, you can't see much of women's bodies. But in protests, you hear a lot of women's voices, and that's obviously a reason that this regime is right now capturing a lot of women's body, girls' body, and haven't let them out.
And well, I heard one theory that said that they were doing that on purpose because in the event of a military strike or an airstrike or something like that, they were planning on possibly showing their bodies afterwards and then blaming it on the airstrike and saying that they were killing women and children, civilians, and that's what it was about.
There's no other explanation for this act. It's the only reason this regime would do that.
So you firmly believe that as well.
Yes.
So, um, in the event, and or I will say when, because I am under the firm belief, absolutely, that the Ayatollah is going to be overthrown. And when that happens, and they bring the Shah back, because I've heard, okay, I haven't heard any dissent, any real dissent from anybody that would want anybody except the Shah. I mean, you hear a couple pockets, like some random person here, random person there that says somebody else, but as a majority, it seems to be like the only voice that I overwhelmingly hear is the Shah. Now, I also know that there's this group of people that's trying to push, what is it, the MEK or something like that? They want them to take it over.
I couldn't listen your last part of question. Can you ask it again? A group
I've
of
heard
ME what?
the MEK.
Haven't heard about them.
Yeah, they're well, they were a part of, they were one of the groups that that helped to overthrow the Shah. And they used to work with Saddam Hussein and yeah, Iranian, the Islamic regime as well. So I don't know. I mean, it's propaganda. It's just that it's another small group of people. They're pro-communist and pro-Islamic at the same time, and their logo is literally like a communist scythe next to like an Islamic moon or something like that. So it's really just propaganda. But I was really surprised that there were people that were actually trying to push that, even Western people that were saying that they would be a good alternative. That doesn't make any sense to me. But when the Shah returns, do you see the people trying to do a full monarchy, or do you think it'll be more like do they want like a democratic regime and have a monarchy on the side just for authoritative purposes, or how do you think that would look?
Uh, Personally, I would like a secular uh, democratic. I don't know what you say that. I personally like as a secular democratic, and I'm not a heresy. I'm against a heresy um, power, a heresy regime. Uh, but uh, for now, we need Reza Pahlavi to uh, come to Iran and do his job. About after that, I don't have any idea because uh, this population that you are seeing right now, these people that are shouting Javid Shah, these people that are shouting Free Iran, have a lot of other options in their minds. They are not all the same. The only thing that we are focusing on right now is this regime that has to be gone, and after that we can vote for whatever we want. And personally, I don't think it would be a heresy power again as heresy regime in Iran, but that's what we need right now, and we need this regime to be gone.
Yeah. This is the first time I would say that it's really realistic that there's an opportunity to destroy the Ayatollah. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all for anybody outside of the country to not want to get rid of the Ayatollah. It doesn't make any sense because they're the number one sponsor of terrorism in the entire world. They constantly violate human and civil rights. They bring destability. They're a nuclear threat. They attack. They help fund wars against Israel, Europe, America, the whole world, really. It just doesn't make any sense why somebody wouldn't want to get rid of them from my perspective, unless they were a pro-Islamic regime as well. Do you think that what do you think about like the surrounding Arabic nations like Saudi Arabia or countries like that? Do you think that they're in favor of the Islamic regime?
I think they're 100% in favor of this Islamic regime because just look at it. Ayatollah Arakchi, I think you know Arakchi. He is the foreign minister of Iran right now, and he's literally from Iraq. His last name, his surname is Arakchi. It's obviously not Iranian, and obviously the uh, near countries, the Arabian countries, don't want this regime to be gone. They are getting uh, funds from it. They are getting support from this regime. Why would they want this regime to be gone?
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's really true as well. And I agree with that. But I know a lot of people try to say, well, they're not as radical as that regime, or they're moderates. So they would have no problem getting rid of it. But that's not what I see. I see that maybe, to me it feels like they're comfortable hiding behind that idea that regime is the really bad one, and as long as they benefit from it, but they don't have to take the heat for being as bold as they are.
Uh, as a foreigner that you are, or a lot of people are listening to your show, just think about you are about to come to Middle East. There are some options: Arabistan, Emirates, Dubai, and Iran. You would obviously choose like Dubai, like Arabistan. You won't choose Iran because it's dangerous in here, and that's one point of the view that they don't want to lose their secured spot in the region. And the other one, I think, in my opinion, the other one is oil. Uh, a lot of people in Middle East, I don't have the exact number of oils that are being sold, but there are countries that want to sell their oil with a higher price, and they don't want Islamic regime to change, to be changed, to be something like a democrat country and sell its oil more expensive than those, because we are selling more oil than those countries, and they don't want this regime to be changed because they are uh, they are getting profit from it. Uh, I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. That makes a lot of
Uh,
sense, really.
uh, they have a secured place in this region and they don't want to lose it.
Yeah, they don't want to upset the status quo, because obviously Saudi Arabia and Dubai and places like that are, and Qatar, they're doing a lot better on the surface financially than a lot of other countries are. So, and you mentioned the oil. Do you feel like, I know that the Ayatollah supplies a lot of oil to China specifically. Are you aware of that?
Uh, you may be surprised, but I wasn't aware of that till recently. And I wasn't aware of that they're selling it cheap to China. I didn't know that till recently. They
Yeah,
don't say this out loud, you know? They are very secretive.
obviously they don't want anybody to know what they're doing. And that's really strange to me as well. That makes me wonder if the Chinese regime is also behind trying to keep the Ayatollah in power as well.
Obviously they want to keep Ayatollah in power, and obviously they would support directly or indirectly. They would support Ayatollah. He's profiting Chinese.
It almost feels like the Chinese are kind of taking advantage of that as well, though, because the fact that they sell it so cheap, there's no reason for them to do that. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe if they're strong arming the Ayatollah and trying to force them to sell it cheap, or if it's more of like an exchange of like security or protection or something like that.
Uh, there has been a lot of deals between Iran, China, and Russia, and almost all Iranians know that Ayatollah is literally a slave to China and Russia, and there is no doubt about it. Uh, they just sell whatever they want to China and Russia, and China and Russia are getting profits. Obviously, they would support Ayatollah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you would say the word slave because that's how I see it as well too. That's how a lot of um, Westerners view it as well too. It feels like the Ayatollah is a slave to China and Russia.
That's how most of Iranians see this situation.
Yeah, and yeah, and almost like they're a pawn in Russia and China's political games to try and dominate world affairs. So, do you feel like when the Ayatollah falls and the Shah returns, he would not be super friendly with Russia and China?
Uh, I don't know about that, but I'm sure it would be better for us Iranians. I know at least he would come to Iran, he would let us vote for whatever we want. And that's the main point for us Iranians. We don't care about other things. We want to just live a normal life. We
Yeah,
don't want something fancy, something luxurious. We just want to have the right of freedom of speech. We just want to have the right to live. That's all. That's all in the Iranians' point of view.
yeah, they just want to be free.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like Americans have had the privilege of being for hundreds of years and really see that's why to me it feels like Americans should understand what's going on with the people in Iran because we had to fight the history of America. We had to fight a revolution for our own freedom as well. So if anybody on the planet should understand what it's like to have to fight for your freedom, it's the United States of America. And I see that in Iran, I feel like their fight for this freedom is the same as America's fight. Okay, guys. Well, it looks like we just lost connection with him. So I'm going to wait a little bit and see if he comes back on here or see if he's able to rejoin. But it said that we had connection issues and it looks like he just disappeared. So we'll just give it a second and see if I can re-invite him or if he could come back. We'll give it a few minutes. Yeah, so while we're waiting on that, guys, this is some like really serious things. And as you can see, he is agreed to come on to the show. He is in Iran right now as we speak. Okay. He's inside the country itself. So this show that he agreed to come on, as you know, they've been in an internet blackout for weeks, right? And it wasn't until recently that the blackout, it hasn't totally dissipated or disappeared, but there's little shatters of opportunity for connection and really is risking a lot to talk to the outside world. I thought that it was really necessary for people to hear what's going on inside. And everything that he said so far, as you can see, is everything that we're being told by Iranian Americans, people that are outside.
Hello?
Are you back?
Yes.
Hey.
Bad internet connection.
Yeah, we lost connection there for a little bit. I was going to wait around a few minutes and see if you were able to come back or not.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the internet that we are dealing with.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying was that I feel like as Americans, we should understand more than anybody what freedom is all about. The whole thing, to me, when I look at what's happening there right now, it reminds me of the American Revolution itself. It reminds me of 1776 and being free from the British Empire. To me, it's the same exact thing. So I don't see why it would be hard for anybody to understand that.
I don't know about Americans, and I don't know about America's history, but I think America and Americans should know the freedom better than us, because you have lived in freedom and you have experienced it, and obviously you don't want to lose it.
Yeah, obviously. And okay, I was also going to ask you, I know that a lot of people that have been shouting free Palestine, and they're very pro-Palestine, and they're very critical of Israel and the war in Gaza right now, but they seem to have gone, not all of them, but a very large amount of them have seemed to gone completely silent when it comes to free Iran. Do you have any thoughts on that?
This free Palestine, we have been dealing with it more than you have been dealing with it. There is, I don't know, from when I was born, I have seen this regime advertising free Palestine in Iran. They have been spreading food, spreading loans for people to come and shout free Palestine, even in Iran. And we don't really care about those people. We know they are just mercenaries of this government. We know they don't care about human rights. They just want, in our eyes, they just want some money that this regime will give them from shouting free Palestine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting that you say that, because I agree with that 100% too. So, see, this is one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to people inside and like yourself, because I know that the voice of the people in the country is totally different than what the propaganda from the Islamic regime is. What everybody sees when they hear the Ayatollah speak is a complete opposite reality of the people inside of the country. And it has been for a long time, but it seems like people now are just starting to become slightly aware of the fact that there's a difference between the people and the regime, but they don't realize that it is a huge difference. The people inside the country are in way more alignment with people from the West, Israel, America, Europe, and the majority of people here that think and feel exactly the way that you're describing it too. So it's really important for people to understand that, because that helps people realize it helps people realize how oppressed that the people in the country are, how much of a genocide and like a Holocaust that it really is going on inside of the country. And it also helps them understand, puts their self in the shoes of those people and say, these people are really, they're just like you. These are not a bunch of crazy radicalized jihads that want to scream death to America and kill all the Jews and all of this. No, these are normal, everyday people who are aware of the world. They're aware of culture and society, and they're aware of how crazy that radical Islam has become. And it's those people that would be a friend to anyone who's not crazy, that want to be free just like everybody else.
That's right. That's exactly a reason why Iranians in protests out of Iran have raised Israel's flag, have raised their host country's flag. We want to show that we are not some barbaric individuals. We are not some uneducated people who want to murder whoever is not believing in Islam. We just want to live a normal life. We just want to grow up, and we just want to grow up. That's it. That's a very important point that I'm making, because uh, that's a genocide. A lot of my peers have been dead. That there is no uh, there is no young people who have a long distance hope for their future, and that's the reality of Iran right now. Uh, I don't know why they want to say we Iranians are barbaric. I don't know what this propaganda still exists, but that's not true. We just want to live a normal life like everybody else.
Yeah. So it seems like the major thing that you really want people to understand is that really it's just freedom is what the people are looking for. It seems like you're really trying to drill it in people's heads that it's just freedom. That's it.
Exactly. I will make an example. When you are trapped in a well and there are some people outside of the well and you want to get outside of the well as well, uh, you won't make enemies of the people outside of the well. You won't say death to America, death to Israel. No, you say, you America, you are my friend. Now give me a rope, give me something that takes me out of this well, so we can be free together. That's the reality that is happening right now. We don't want to make enemies. We That's exactly opposite. We want to make friends so we can be free together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the scream of 100 million people that just want to be free and join the rest of the world in the 21st century and come out of that old 7th century radicalized savagery jihad.
Yes.
Okay, so is there I know that Trump and Marco Rubio and Benjamin Netanyahu are talking about talking to the Ayatollah this Friday. Now, I also know, and it's my firm belief, the way that politics work and the way that Trump thinks and things that people have said, I don't believe that it's going to be a negotiation where America and Israel abandon the people inside of the country. I am firmly under the belief that that is not what it is at all. I would say that really the talks are just there's some sort of a political cover, because when you look at the UN and they in 2015 they created the Responsibility to Protect Act. And in that, it says that a country loses its sovereignty if it begins to kill its own people, and that military strikes are completely allowed so long as every other diplomatic solution has been exhausted. So, to me, what I believe that Trump and Netanyahu are trying to do is they're trying to prove to the world because they've said, and I'm hearing that some of the demands in there that they recognize Israel, which the Ayatollah is never going to do, and that they're going to make sure. Marco Rubio himself said, we are going to discuss the way that they're treating the people inside of the country, and we are going to discuss the things that they say that we don't want to discuss. And it's my view, as well as Goldie Gamari and many other people, that the reason why they're doing that is to prove to the world that these people, the Ayatollah, they are completely radicalized, and no matter how diplomatic you try to be with these people, in the end, they refuse to accept any real type of conclusion. And from that justification to the world on a world level, that when they do a military strike, they will be able to say, see, we're not warmongering, we're not war criminals, we're not trying to take over a country. We are removing a completely radicalized regime. So I wanted to ask you, what if you were to be able to have to say anything about to Trump or Marco or Bibi Netanyahu or anybody like that, what would you say to them?
I would like to ask them to don't negotiate with terrorists, because this diplomatic talking that you are talking about, it's our lives. It's our lives completely depend on these talks. We are worried that 1% Ayatollah agrees to America's demands. And that's our worries. Last night, when there was a news that Islamic regime didn't want to negotiate with US, and Trump said that we don't negotiate with this regime because they wanted to only talk about curing nuclear, and they cancelled the talks. We were jumping out of joy, and that's what we are worried about. We are worried that 1% Ayatollah agrees to the USA's demands, and we don't want that. We want a regime change. We don't want this regime to stay in power any longer.
Yeah, I'm in firm agreement with you as well. I think, and it's obvious to me that, as it should be obvious to everybody in the world, that a complete and total regime change is the only option inside of the country. There is no room for negotiating with these people. They're complete nutcases. So, you feel like, is it safe to say that what you feel like is that the Ayatollah may lie to their face and say, yeah, sure, we'll do whatever it is, and then just continue to do what they always do?
It's his profession. He's proficient in lying. That's what he's been doing since 37 years ago. That's Khomeini before him has been doing. They are proficient in lying. I won't be surprised if they lie about that.
Yeah, a snake is a snake is a snake. It's not going to change overnight like that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I believe that Trump is smart enough to realize that. I believe that Trump and Bibi are very aware of that fact, because it's always been a fact. And I know in the past here in America and American politics, Trump has done things like this before with his opposition, where he pretends that he's going to make some sort of a deal with them, and he just goes out of his way to prove that he'll even give them more of what he said he would, or at least put it on the table, just so that headlines and the news media can see that, well, see, look, I would even give them this, and they still won't listen. And then after it's, exposed that this person really is just that radical, that's usually when he comes in afterwards and deals with it. I think that that's what he's going to do with the Ayatollah. But I'm in complete agreement, though. Like, the regime completely has to be changed from the inside out. And like, I was listening to Mark Levin earlier, and like he was saying, like, this is the chance. Like, this is the shot. It has to be now. If it's not going to happen now, we're never going to get an opportunity like this ever again. They're weaker than they've ever been. The inflation rate's going crazy there. The people are in unanimous agreement. Like, we have to overthrow them immediately.
Exactly. Trump says a lot that he has freed 837 people from execution. That's what he's talking about a lot. But what we are seeing is that that's just 137 people that are not executed. There are hundreds more people that are getting executed, and I'm I'm just really disappointed in Trump because the number 837 seems so big in his eyes, but in our eyes that's just a little.
Yeah, that's a very tiny number. What would you say that your estimates are of how many people have been killed?
I would say at least 100,000.
Yeah, that's what I suspected. I was thinking that it was closer to that number as well. And you would say, I'm guessing that there was no stopping, like, because they claimed that those were all done in one day, and now, yeah, but no, it's every single day, right?
It's every single day. Even today there were some executions. I don't know uh, why people. Uh, I don't know why Trump is so. He's waiting. I don't really can tolerate his waiting because that's our lives on the line.
Yeah.
Even if the regime finds out that I'm talking with you right now in this program, I will be executed, and there will be no news about me. No one will find out about me being executed. They just knock your door, says, "Oh, you come here," and take you out, and you are executed. That's all. There is no documentation. There are no news. Nothing. Like killing an ant.
Yeah, there's no court. Yeah, there's no court of appeal or any evidence or any proof. They just have to. They could just say that you are doing it, and then that's enough for it.
That's right.
Okay. Is there since we're already at an hour now, I guess I'll start winding everything down. So I was gonna say but I want us to stay in contact though, because I enjoyed this conversation a lot. And I think that it was really great, and I really appreciate you coming on the show and taking the time to do all that. And I wanted to tell you that the people of America, the people, the real people of the United States and Israel and Europe and all over the world are with the people in the country. We understand and we see what's going on, and we really do understand what it is. So we are all with you, and we are all praying for you, and we're going to believe heavily that this thing is going to be overturned. So I just wanted to give you one last opportunity for anything at all that you want to say to the world or Trump or people in the world, or anything at all that you want to say.
I just want to thank everyone who is stepping for Iranians, who is being our voice, and thank you all for caring about Iran.
100%. All right. So, thank you for coming on the show. I guess that's where we're going to end it. And I'll stay in contact with you. And I'm gonna hop off here real quick and edit everything out, and I'll let you know as soon as it gets published up, so that you guys can go check it out and everything.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love you guys, man. I'm really with you. I'm really right there with you guys. I watch the news every day, and there's nothing, there's no words. You try to think of what to say and how to explain to people that you're with them, but there's really nothing that you could say to what's going on inside of the country. It's nothing that there's no words to describe what could be said or how much you're with the people and how much you're right there in the fight. And if you could be, you'd be right there in the fight with them. But I know it seems really dark and it seems really hopeless, but I'm telling you, I know and I believe 100% that freedom is on the horizon. Freedom is coming, and the Ayatollah is gonna fall. And I think it's going to happen a lot sooner than people realize. So I want the people there to understand, to hold on to hope and to keep fighting, because it's always darkest right before the dawn. For whatever reason that is, it always seems to be the worst right before it breaks. But I love you guys, man. So I'll keep praying for you guys, and appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate you as well, and thank you a lot for being our voice. I'm happy if I have taken a step, if I have done a job for my people, and there is nothing more to say. I just want to show my graduation uh, with you people.
All right, that sounds great. I appreciate it, man.
Uh, so that's all.